Friday, August 4th, 2017. Friday's probably your favorite day, I would imagine, 'cause you get to start the weekend, depending on what kind of job you have. Today's show is going to be a lot of fun, as they are every day. Dave LaGreca will be joining us. He is one of the hosts of Busted Open, and he's going to kind of break down a little bit what's going on in the world of pro wrestling and mixed martial arts and how they come together. Talking a little Brock Lesnar more than likely. That'll probably be the main topic there with him. Gustavo Lopez will be in studio today, as will Gina Mazany. Both of them are going to be talking about what's next for them as they await their next fight booking. How you doing, Danny?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. Just okay.
Just okay?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of a goes purge. So we'll see how that works.
Oh, that's where you're going to goes people, right?
I'm going to goes people.
What does that mean?
If
I'm doing a social media purge, and you never heard like ghosting someone, where you just
2 minutes.
stop talking.
2 minutes.
So unfriend them?
Not necessarily. Just stop talking to them. Maybe a few unfriending here and there. That's not a bad idea.
You know, you can, I think, unfollow them. So what happens is you remain friends, but you don't see their feed.
Yeah.
So then basically they're out of your life, but yet they don't know it.
Yeah.
Because
I've seen that
would
before.
you say ghosting would just be stop talking to them,
It'll
but
just disappear. I can reappear at some point, but
I see.
I just
Are they aware that you disappear?
I hope so.
So then the
Then-
best way to
then
do it is to
the,
unfriend them, right? You want to make them aware or no?
No.
Oh,
Well, actually, I don't really care
okay.
if they're aware or
Coming
not.
up in a minute.
Huh. Yeah, I like the old
Starting fresh. It's a
unfollow
purge.
deal. So just to be official, you're just gonna stop talking to people. That's all.
Certain people. Yeah.
Okay, but not unfriend them.
Not unfriend them, no.
That's
Unfriending to me seems kind of silly.
Coming for 30.
you've done
Yeah.
it.
Like who?
Woody?
Yeah, but that's different. That affects like what's going on here.
Oh. All right. Shango, shout out to you. Shango Green from Las Vegas.
Coming up in 10.
And we're getting ready to take off.
Stand by.
This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMAjunkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is gonna be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMAjunkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Gold. This is what we do and why we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yes!
The MMAjunkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communications stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMAjunkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMAjunkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMAjunkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Go.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMAjunkie Radio Show, the only show that matters. It is August 4th, Friday. It's the end of the week. And we're excited to do our 2,500th show with 5 more. 2505. That goes over there on the left. Danny's back east handling all the producing duties. And we're going to get going here pretty soon with our first guest, Dave LaGreca from Busted Open. We'll also have Gustavo Lopez Extreme Couture bantamweight, and also Gina Mazany from the UFC. She is a bantamweight as well. Quick shout out here, Martin Stabilo on the Facebook chat. Aloha to you too, my friend. Don D is asking Wendy Jean Salas, where you going? Because she's bragging about some tickets that came in. I'm curious too. And Armando Martinez Jr. is saying, too many frijoles and carnitas for Alexa. If you all haven't heard, the weigh-ins took place out in Mexico City, Mexico, for UFC Fight Night 114, headlined by Brandon Moreno and Sergio Pettis. In that co-main event slot is Alexa Grasso, who will be duking it out with Randa Marcos. Alexa Grasso is the only fighter who didn't make weight, correct, Goes?
On the whole card, yeah.
Yeah. And how bad was it?
I think it was 2 or 3 pounds, something like that.
So not even like a 0.5.
No.
The scale in the room, the official scale, they were off. I buy that. Oh, really? Oh. Even though the UFC's pretty open about saying the scale's open, the official scale's open.
Walk in whenever you want.
Ride down the elevator, hop on the scale, and know for sure where you're sitting at instead of using. I mean, I know there's some digital scales out there that are supposedly it, you know? But why would you take a chance? The one you really weigh in on is the only one that counts. We just went through that with Brian Ortega in Anaheim.
The UFC one could be wrong. It could be wrong, but it doesn't matter. That's the one they use.
That's the official one.
That's what you got to go with.
But if she's off 2 or 3 pounds, then, hey, it might be that girl thing, or she just got sloppy. I don't know, because other girls made it, and she didn't. So there you have it. Of course, we'll talk more about UFC Fight Night 114 when we come back. We got to hustle in and hustle out because our next guest, his show, is going to be starting here in about less than an hour. It's on SiriusXM Rush 93, like us. It's called Busted Open. It's the award-winning Busted Open. And he's the host. His name is Dave LaGreca. And so there's been some crossover news between MMA and pro wrestling. We want to get his takes on some of that news. Joining us now on the hotline is Dave LaGreca. What's up, Dave? How you doing?
Boys, how are you?
Good. Welcome back to MMA Junkie Radio. You're on with George and Goes. Thank you for giving us some time here. I know you're getting ready to start yourself.
Yeah, man. It's been a while since you guys had me on. I thought maybe you didn't like the last spot I did with you.
No, not at all. It's just that it's a crazy, wacky, zany sport, and there's just so much to cover. But
we wait for it to all pile up.
Right.
And that way we can just show up to the store and go, here's our stuff.
It's all good. No, but I appreciate you guys having me on. Thanks so much.
All right. So, Dave, let's start off with Brock Lesnar himself. You know, last week, UFC 214 took place. And during the week, there had been rumors of a Brock Lesnar-John Jones fight that could take place somewhere at the end of the year, maybe Madison Square Garden in November. But you sift through all that, and we see that Brock is still on suspension per USADA over here. So what happens is he would have to enter the testing pool again and, you know, declare himself a UFC fighter and finish out a suspension. So we know that that's kind of on hold. But, again, as more information comes out, as John Jones does his call-out, we start to think, wait a minute, isn't this what athletes do when they're starting to ask for maybe a little bit more money? They start to show that they have a hand to play, there's leverage. Is that what it is, Dave? Do you think Brock's serious about maybe coming back to MMA, or is this just all a play because he's got some big cards coming up, and, of course, at some point you guys will start talking about what's going to happen at WrestleMania next year, first quarter?
Yeah, it's funny. Like you, I thought the same thing. I was like, this is Brock just trying to get more money out of Vince McMahon, and his contract's up after WrestleMania, so he's starting to get the ball rolling. But when you have John Jones calling him out, and then he's replying to it, and the back and forth that we've seen, you would have to think that there's got to be something in the works, you know, for that to take place, and for all these rumors and these rumblings. And I know, you know, from watching Brock in the WWE, he likes wrestling, but he loves UFC. And I think that's really where his love and passion is. He loves competition. So I think he really wants to do this. And I really do think Brock's going to be back in the octagon.
There you have it. I mean, if somebody's got his finger on the pulse over there in pro wrestling, it's Dave LaGreca from Busted Open. Dave, you said he loves, you know, MMA, the UFC, the organization he fights for, and he just likes pro wrestling. Have you, what tells you that? I guess how often have you ever been able to be in contact with him or any of his people to I guess make that assessment?
It's hard, but because we've never spoken to him on Busted Open. The only time I ever spoke with him was actually on NFL radio when he was trying out for the Vikings like 13 years ago. But
Okay.
but honestly, if you read his book, back when even before he came back to the WWE, I don't think he was never a fan of pro wrestling. I don't think he has a passion for pro wrestling. Now, I do think he loves entertaining people, and this last run with the WWE, I think has been his best for him, where he's had the most fun. I think he loves having Paul Heyman by his side, but again, he loves that competition. He has those juices. So I think he has one more fight in him. Now, you would know better than me. You guys are MMA experts, for sure. And I'm sure you probably believe that John Jones would destroy Brock Lesnar if had the opportunity, even though there's a big difference in weights. But when it comes to his passion, I think it is in the octagon. He can always come back to pro wrestling. I don't think his career would be hurt in pro wrestling. He's a former UFC champion. He brings credibility to the squared circle. So I don't think it hurts him in that respect. But, I mean, to have that crossover, and it's happening. We're seeing it with Cyborg and Becky Lynch, which may even be a possibility for SummerSlam, which is just a few weeks away in Brooklyn. This seems to be more of a common thread when it comes to what's going on in wrestling and what's going on in MMA.
How often does he fight? Wrestle pro? How often does he appear on WWE cards per year? Like, does he just do 4 major shows or 2, or what is it?
He is, as a wrestling fan, and a lot of wrestling fans feel the same way that I do. It's pretty annoying because he is the ultimate part-timer, which is fine. Being a special attraction, I think, is a good thing for wrestling, but he's also a champion in the WWE, so he doesn't defend the title, once or twice a month. He's usually defending that title maybe once every 3 or 4 months, and it's very rare that you see him on TV. So he's kind of like the Undertaker at this point. You see him just every few months, if that. So it's annoying to me because he actually holds the title, but again, Vince McMahon loves him because he brings the credibility.
Oh, that must be a pain in the ass. Does he at least show up and grab?
Pain in the ass. Exactly.
Does he grab the mic and say anything and make appearances, or it's just when he wrestles?
He makes appearances, but he says nothing because he has Paul Heyman, which is probably one of the best talkers in the history of pro wrestling. So when you have somebody like Paul Heyman by your side, you don't need to speak.
Yeah.
So usually when you see Brock Lesnar on your TV, it's usually just standing there as Paul Heyman talks all the trash. So you really don't need to see him that much on TV. So
right.
Yes, to a wrestling fan like myself, it's a bit of a pain in the ass.
Goes has some questions for you, but I do want to ask you one more because you brought it up. Talkers. Who are the best? Well, there's going to be a lot of them, but who are your favorite, like maybe 3 or 5? And I'll tell you my favorite before you start. Man, I love Dusty Rhodes back in that day. That guy could talk. He could get me pumped up for a fight, for a wrestling match like almost no other. But I have others, but that's one guy that I came across one of those 2 a.m. YouTube runs, and I come across Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
And I was watching him for about a good hour.
No, I mean, right now, currently, it's definitely Paul Heyman. But if you go into the history, of course, Dusty Rhodes is right up there. Ric Flair, to me, will always be the best. He's the best talker. You're talking about, at 2 a.m. watching YouTube. I can sit in front of my phone, sit in front of my smart TV watching YouTube, watching old Ric Flair promos until I'm blue in the face. I mean, to me, those are the 2 best talkers ever in pro wrestling would be Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair.
Folks, this is Dave LaGreca. He's the host of Busted Open, Monday through Friday, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern. Check out the show. Goes, what do you have for Dave?
Dave, we've seen what Brock Lesnar's been able to do crossing into MMA, and then we saw another pro wrestler who had a big name, CM Punk, come over and not do as well. And it's not I don't think it's because of what happened in the actual fight. He just didn't carry over the same buzz that Brock did. Is there anybody on that WWE roster that you feel like could cross over into MMA and have that same type of buzz that Brock Lesnar brought?
To me, Brock's the only one. I mean, maybe a decade or 13 years ago, you could say somebody like a Kurt Angle, but I think that's long past. I mean, to me, the only person is Brock Lesnar. I don't think there's anybody else that brings any kind of credibility other than Brock. And I think that's a big reason why he didn't get a lot of buzz with CM Punk, because I don't think anybody was expecting him to be able to actually be good competition. So to answer your question, there's only one guy, and that's Brock Lesnar.
You brought up someone, Chris Cyborg, earlier. We saw that she's kind of having a little bit of a feud with Becky Lynch, but we don't really know what these feuds mean. Can you kind of break that down a little bit? And how close is the possibility of them actually going at it at SummerSlam?
Well, I mean, they've been doing, Becky Lynch and Cyborg have been going back and forth with promos, and Cyborg is, and again, there's a lot of MMA fighters that have a love of the WWE and pro wrestling. So I don't know if it's something that they want to do currently or if they're looking at something once their career's over, but there's a lot of trash talk going between Cyborg right now and Becky Lynch. And maybe, who knows, we might see something in a couple of weeks in Brooklyn at SummerSlam.
We saw someone like Shayna Baszler, who's a pioneer in mixed martial arts for females, and now she seems like she's finally getting that call to WWE in that Mae Young tournament. Can you talk a little bit about Shayna Baszler and what you see out of her as a pro wrestler?
Yeah, I think there's a tremendous upside. There's a respect factor, there's a credibility factor, and I think she brings that. And when you look at this Mae Young Classic right now, and a lot of these names, and you're seeing the crossover from MMA, and you're looking at like the Four Horsemen that's been talked a lot about, to the Four Horsewomen, there's a lot of crossover, and credibility is something. This is something that's not going away. This whole crossover between MMA and pro wrestling is something I think that is going to be a big thing for the rest of 2017 and going into 2018.
That relationship, it always hasn't been very strong. There was a time when Vince McMahon just did not get along with Dana White, but it seems like here and there concessions have been made. Talk about that relationship. Is it a relationship, or are we basically each other's booty call at this point?
Well, I think it is a booty call. I think it's that quick satisfaction, but also, too, and you guys know this better than me, I think MMA right now needs some big names, and I think also on the wrestling side, they need a little pop. The ratings aren't what they used to be. So I think they kind of need each other right now, and what's wrong with that? Pro wrestling needs a little bit of the credibility, and I think MMA needs a little bit of the big names, and I think it's a win-win situation.
There are a lot of MMA fans who enjoy the crossover when some of the athletes come over. They can, well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot that don't. There's a lot that despise it for sure.
Yeah, because I know a lot of I know I was on Luke Thomas's show, and I know that there's a lot of MMA people, a lot of MMA analysts that get aggravated by the whole pro wrestling thing because they think the credibility takes a hit. But when it comes to names, I think there's no doubt that you kind of need that big pop with names.
Well, there's, I guess, different ways to go about it. For one, when I go on Twitter or Facebook, I'll see half that enjoy the rumor that Brock could come back, and I'll see half that say we don't want him back. As far as media, same thing, right down the middle. As far as the pro wrestling component coming over to mixed martial arts in terms of sports entertainment and how to hype a fight, I love it. But yes, I could see that most MMA media don't. I think it's silly that they don't, because at the end of the day, when they get in there, it is a real fight. It's not like we're all blinded in any way thinking, is this pro wrestling? I mean, we know that they're actually going to hit each other, and there's going to be some violence. So I don't know. But anyway, what I want to know is, what about pro wrestling fans when there are rumors of MMA fighters going that way? Are they receptive to it, or would they prefer that not happen?
No, I think they're pretty receptive to it. I think they'd rather have an MMA fighter crossover than somebody who is a former football player or somebody that just doesn't have a passion for pro wrestling. All these MMA fighters that are looking to get into wrestling are wrestling fans, and they get it. MMA is a form of wrestling, maybe not inside the octagon, but definitely on the microphone, the way there's a lot of trash talk and building up big matches before a big pay-per-view. There's a lot of similarities there, and I don't think wrestling fans at all have a problem with some of the MMA crossover.
Yeah, and I've spoken to two of them, Quentin Rampage Jackson, King Mo Lawal. They've gone over. They've done the Ohio Valley Wrestling, the schools, and they said it's the hardest hardest thing they've ever done. So there's a lot of respect from the ones that have tried it and have dabbled in it. I do want to ask you one last thing here before we let you go. What about Ronda Rousey? That will always be a rumor of her coming over. Do you think she'd be as big over there in pro wrestling as Brock was over here?
Probably not. And the only reason why I say that is because her MMA career ended. I think if you had the one loss, I don't think it would be that bad. But you couple those losses together and the time that it's been, maybe time heals all wounds. Maybe all will be forgotten. I don't know, but I think they need to space that out just a little bit more because I think people remember the way her MMA career ended.
I think she'd be fantastic as a pro wrestler because
I think she's awesome.
I think she'd be an amazing villain for one if she wanted
I'd like to see it.
A face if she wanted
I'd like to see it.
And then she's got the build for it, the strength, the intimidation factor, the judo tosses. Oh man, even if she was a part-timer, I know Dave is probably not a fan of that, but still, even if she just did certain pay-per-views just to get things started, because it is a toll on their body, and she has been doing this since she was a kid, so it could be she just wants to have babies and sail off, but still, I think she could make a ton of money and she'd be very successful. But what do I know?
You know what I think her
least
biggest
for
asset is?
One WrestleMania moment, that would be cool.
Oh, yeah.
I think her biggest asset is just that scowl that she has on
her
face.
Yeah.
But like Dave said, when you come off back-to-back losses like that, that scowl doesn't mean as much anymore.
Yeah, well,
I think that's the problem.
Well, maybe some time needs to go by. Who knows? All right. Dave, thank you so much for joining us. We promised to do a catch-up a lot sooner than this because we enjoy having you. And most of all, we enjoy Busted Open because when we're driving home, we're catching your show. So, again, folks, check it out. The award-winning Busted Open on SiriusXM Rush 93, hosted by Dave LaGreca. I know you had Bubba Ray in there. Larry Dallas is another guy that I know co-hosts with you from time to time. So we do catch it. It's a great show.
Always a class guy. Larry Dallas is a scumbag, but we have good chemistry. We have good chemistry together.
2 to 4 p.m. Eastern, folks. Check it out. Thank you, Dave, for the time. Thanks and yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot for the time. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care. Shout out to Danny Oakers for lining that up. If he was here, would we be putting a 20 in his shirt pocket? Danny Oakers?
Maybe a 10.
A 10? Okay.
I would love a 20 right now. Thanks.
Well, that's kind of an inside joke. I don't know if you guys got it, but that was a great fight booking. Goodfellas.
Oh.
But the meaning behind it. Danny, why don't we take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll start in on some calls and scan over the latest news. Again, Alexa Grasso has not made weight. She will the fight's still on, though, right, guys?
Yeah.
UFC Fight Night 114 in Mexico City. She's in the co-main event slot, but she was the only fighter that didn't make weight. Everyone else is good, including your main eventers, your headliners, Sergio Pettis and Brandon Moreno in a a pivotal matchup at 125 pounds. The winner, more than likely, gets a shot at the winner of Ray Borg and Demetrius Johnson. And by the way, I have thoughts on that fight. I think that fight might be a little bit more competitive than people are leaning towards. That's not to say I'm picking Borg, but from what I've seen, Borg's he's kind of a beast, man. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. All right, we'll talk more when we come back. SiriusXM, Rush 93. Stay close.
Okay.
All right, we are in commercial with SiriusXM, but we're live with you guys right now. So I'll try and
Hey, guys,
answer
I'm
some of
gonna-
these questions in the chat after this bump. The bump is forthcoming.
Here comes the bump.
We know our geometry better than your high school math teacher. Octagons, rings, and square circles on SiriusXM Rush 93 and the SiriusXM app.
One more bump.
Octagons, rings, square circles. We cover every shape of the fight game right here on SiriusXM Rush 93 and the SiriusXM app.
All right, Alfonso Berry saying Ronda versus Bailey would sell big. Who's Bailey, goes? A
Bailey's the
WWE
girl
star?
that beat Ric Flair's daughter.
Oh,
Remember when
okay.
I went here at
Yeah.
That was that girl.
Guess
That was
Claire.
Bailey, okay.
But I thought Bailey's like a face.
I-
Ronda would come in as a heel.
I think she could start off. I mean, she'd get cheered, but I think right away she could turn the crowd because she's got that energy, you know, where if she wants to be, she can maybe use the angle, hey, I'm coming over from real fighting. I don't know. Are you all going to watch Lomachenko match tomorrow? It's on ESPN.
Yes.
I believe so. So is the NFL Hall of Fame game, right? And those ceremonies.
Premier League is ESPN now, right?
And the Super Cup is coming up as well. Real Madrid, the winner of Champions League, versus Man United, the winner of Europa League. Premier League starts pretty soon as well. I think there's one more week for that. I was asked about Grasso missing weight. Look, it's never good. It's unprofessional. But there have been times when the fighter communicates with the promotion and they already know beforehand, the opponent knows beforehand, there's a valid excuse, and it's all good. We don't know all the details. So right now I can just say it's probably not going to be good for her. The fight will still go on, but again, we'll have to wait and find out and see if there's maybe something she has to offer as an excuse.
There's two different
Come back
versions
in a
of it,
minute.
though. There's the person that takes it to the end and doesn't make it, and there's
Right.
the person that realizes at some point, I'm just not going to make it. Why am I
And
going to mess up my
communicates.
body? And they just kind of stay where they're at. And
Right.
She struck me as somebody who just said, I'm just going to stay here. I'm not going to try and get all messed up.
Yeah. Let's see here. Shout out to Sean Lennon, Don D, JC Casares. All of them in our Facebook chat. It's basically that drop down where you can leave a comment. I call it a chat because it seems like we're all chatting.
Coming up at 30.
Alfonso Berry loved Pipper. He meant Piper. Flair, Rock, Punk, Foley, and Heyman's mic work. Abel Orozco checking in from Santa Ana, Cali. Santa Ana, Cali Refrigeration. Wendy Jean Salas says Lesnar is a joke. Okay, but
guys.
he did
Coming back
reach
at 10.
the highest levels of two sports. You gotta give him those props. Back with the show.
You know that scene in Star Wars where Darth Vader tells Luke he's his father? What if I walked in right after with my voice and was like, I'm your Uncle Walter. Can I get a lift home? That'd be crazy, right? Anyway, here George and goes.
We're going to sneak in some calls right now before Gustavo Lopez shows up. We'll be talking to him. He's from Extreme Couture. We've actually seen him fight a couple times, but we know him more through Combate Americas. I saw him at the gym yesterday. Did I tell you to stop by?
No.
The Extreme Couture gym? Yeah, they had the Thursday practice. It's full sparring, but with the bigger gloves.
Yeah.
Tuesdays the smaller
Tuesdays
gloves.
are rough for us because now we have to go to the Contender Series, so we haven't been able to.
Yeah, but you know, if you think about it, the practice starts at 3:30. We could get there right at the beginning, bounce out around 4-ish, and just make it that day. I think that's the way to go about it. Is he coming? There he goes. All right, let's sneak in some quick calls here, and then we'll get to Gustavo. Marco from Waco, what's up, man? Marco from Waco, back on hold. Let's talk to Brandon from Louisville. What's up, Brandon?
Hey, boys. How y'all doing today?
Good, man. How about you?
Doing good. I've got some inside info on the Alexa Grasso missing weight.
Go for it.
Her and Buffalo Blue broke up over the week, and she is not taking it well at all.
Oh, that's true.
She tried to drown her sorrows on a little bit too much ice cream, and so blame Noah.
That is his favorite fighter, so I'm sure he took it hard.
It's not often I'm going to defend Marco because usually I can't understand what Marco's saying to defend him. But yesterday, when he was talking about the possible Stipe and Josiah match, Gigi, you say you think it'd make more boxing than it would as a UFC fight?
Anthony Joshua versus Stipe Miocic?
Yeah.
I think if they box, they'll make more money than if they fight in mixed martial arts.
They individually would make more money, or the fight would make more
Well,
money?
like, for example, didn't Anthony Joshua make $20 million for his fight versus Klitschko?
Did he really?
I think so.
Holy shit.
So he's not going to – fuck, you think the UFC's going to pay him that? He's not.
Why
so
are
he's
we talking about MMA?
He's not going to do that. And then
boxing.
Stipe obviously is going to want he's going to look at the payout scales and ladders of what crossover fighters are getting. So I imagine he'll want to get paid more than his last reported pay, which is probably in that $500,000 mark. I don't think he's going to box Anthony Joshua for, that amount or just a little bit more than that amount. So I imagine he's calling him out to box. Plus, Stipe's a Golden Gloves boxer, so there's a little bit of a background there. But either way, I think Joshua wins.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought you were saying the fight does better as a boxing match.
No.
They would make more money. Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. What would be more entertaining, them two boxing or them two fighting and
boxing?
I mean,
you're taking all right.
They'd have to box.
Joshua
is
a great fighter, but has he really He's not Floyd Mayweather. He hasn't been controlling boxing for that long. Where you need if you gave him 5 more boxing fights, more than likely one of those guys is going to catch him. Okay, he's not dominant. That's why it wouldn't be as big.
But he's undefeated. He's a gold medalist. He's not. It's not a joke either.
Still.
I think they'd be more competitive in boxing than in mixed martial arts, right? Doesn't Stipe just pretty much take him down and beat the shit out of him?
I would imagine.
Whereas in the other one, I mean, Joshua would probably catch him, but I think Stipe would at least throw something back. I don't know. Anyway, good stuff, Brandon. Thanks always for the call. Want to welcome to the show Gustavo Lopez. What's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you yesterday. Good to see you today.
Yeah, I'm excited. Just training and just, working on the weekends.
Where do you work?
I work at Encore Beach Club.
Oh, you too?
Yeah.
With Boston, and didn't Johnny Nunez
Johnny usually worked there, and then there's a few other ones.
Johnny doesn't work there anymore?
Johnny, no. He got on the show. He's busy doing his thing.
Coaching, right?
Yeah, he's helping on the new Tough Show.
Justin, I think.
Yep.
Justin Gaethje's team.
Oh, okay.
He's staying busy.
Oh, wow. So what do you do at Encore Beach?
I do security over there.
Okay.
And then I also a busser at a different venue at One Oak. So busy on the weekends, enough to support my lifestyle, and so I could train during the week.
Which one pays better?
It varies. There's some days that you have, it's a tip industry, so
both of them.
You never know.
Even security. Thanks for watching my back. Here's some dough. I mean, what? I don't get
Usually for security is more of just making. If someone has a table, just making sure no random guests bother them.
Okay.
So kind of that nice protection. Make sure no one bothers them. Stuff
so you're
like
standing by the VIPs, kind of?
Yeah, or just usually around the pool areas, people that have the cabanas or little day beds.
Are you surveying the crowd, making sure there's no troublemakers, or are you kind of listening on what's going on in the VIPs?
Overall, I'm just making sure everyone's safe.
Yeah?
As security, all we do is just take care, make sure no one get hurt, no one's drowning, no one's too drunk.
Not even a little bit, Gustavo?
Oh, so you have lifeguard duties, too?
No, not really.
No?
They have lifeguard doing the lifeguard stuff, but we just make sure, there's always... they come in here to get drunk, so...
Right.
Make sure everyone get drunk, but everyone's safe.
Man, not even a little bit, like Paris Hilton going, "You'll never guess who I slept with." They'll kind of go, what's going on over here?
It's loud. Yeah. So be hard to hear any whispers going on over there.
What about, well, this is a tough one because obviously you represent Encore, but just drugs. Is that something that, obviously you all don't stand for it, but do you see a lot of that?
Somehow it gets in.
Yeah.
It's very... I think it's mostly...
Are they open about doing
if it gets into prison, it's going to get into a club,
True.
right?
True.
Yeah.
Are they open about doing it, or is it kind of like everyone goes in the bathroom?
Nope, zero tolerance. You catch it, they get trespassed. They're not allowed to be there for the rest of the year. No Encore win properties, nothing like that.
Have you ever caught anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it out in the open or in the bathroom?
A little bit of both.
Wow, they're that bold, huh?
Some people will do it right in the pool. I'm like,
Jesus,
what are you guys doing?
Our buddy John Orlando,
Uh-huh.
he talks about how every week at a pool party, there's always a few ambulances that pull out because
Yeah.
people just
No,
overdo it.
on a daily, there's
Are those the people coming in to Vegas, or are some of those the veterans getting sloppy?
I don't know. It's very rare. It's not rare, but like it happens on occasions when people just don't understand. You know, it's hot outside.
Yeah.
The sun's there. You're in a pool club. The sun's hitting you. You're drinking a lot of
Get
alcohol.
dehydrated quickly.
And the water's the same cost as almost as a beer. So people are like,
What would you value that stack of water that we
Hand me
have
a-
there? Because you know what it's like outside of here. I went to a concert. That water was $7, and
Yeah.
that was about
no, that's
3 years ago.
yeah, no, those size waters are like $10 at the beach club,
Can you believe that, George?
Wow.
and the beer is the same, around 10. So it's like, well, just hand me a beer. No
Yeah.
big deal.
That's funny.
Let's keep on drinking, and then don't people that are smart, they drink the water in between the beers to have a good time, because you're there from like, some people are there from 10 in the morning all the way till like 6, 7.
Tell us a good fight story that you had to break up or get involved in.
That is funny. Just maybe a couple of weeks ago, there was these people that were just in a random bit of the pool, and there's some girls passed by, and the little girls and right away started attacking each other.
Girls were chirping at girls?
Yeah.
Okay.
And right away,
Like, that bitch thinks she's hot.
Yeah,
Like that type of thing? Like hate a little?
something like that
Or
happened.
you slept with my man? Like, what kind?
No, it's like little comments of like, oh, look at those girls, blah, blah, blah. They think they're so special. Like, there's people that just go in there as...
This was a pool party, so they're in bikinis.
Yeah.
Okay.
So girls come... There's people that come in there that get VIP, that get tables, that get bottle service, and do the whole thing like that. And with that comes, the server, the bussers making sure they're taken care of, all the stuff there. And then we as security will make sure those people just are having a good time. No one's bothering them. No one's, like, starting fights with them. Because there's some people that, like, just do general admission to have a good time, and then they're like, oh, I want to stay here, but like, well, you got to pay for the spots.
Yeah. So what happened? One group of girls is walking by another. Give me the numbers. How much on each side?
I'm getting like a 3 and 2.
3 against 2. Okay.
2 girls, and then a bunch of the guys.
It just escalated quickly? The guys got involved too?
Yeah, it escalated because a bunch of the friends escalated huge. Because I was there earlier, and they were a little chatty. I'm like, hey, stop it. Move away. Everyone go to their own spot.
And by the way, are you wearing a suit?
No.
In 105-degree weather?
No, like for me,
I'm wearing... thank God. That'd be
I'm
ridiculous
wearing
if they made you
board shorts and like a polo. Just
easy.
Professional.
Okay. Yeah,
Looking professional. And like...
So they had chirped earlier.
Yeah, chirped earlier.
All right.
I leave. I'm like, I'm about to go home. And then we hear over the radio, like, oh, fight's going down. We come up, and there's like a brawl going on. Something happened. They got too close together, and just... There's a huge fight. I think there might have been some stuff online. I know there was. I think they cleared it out of the way, but it was like...
Spilled into the pool, too?
No, it just got outside, and all the security came in. We were just separating everybody. Surprisingly, there's not that many fights there.
Hey.
It's very rarely. All year, I think we had like 1, maybe 2 big fights.
Is the trick to pour water on the girls when they won't let go of the hair?
That doesn't hurt. That does not work.
I'm telling you.
Doesn't work?
No, they're not like cats. So you like...
Yeah. Well, no. But that's different. That's a pool party, though, right?
Yeah,
I've always told him, if you're in a nightclub and you want to defuse a situation between 2 girls, just pour water on them.
Oh, that
because it ruins their makeup, their hair, and that like triggers something where they go, no, I don't want that, and then things calm down.
I never tried that. I need to try that next
time.
time.
But at a pool party, I think they're okay
they're
with
already
that
wet.
going on. Yeah.
They're already wet. Maybe at a nightclub.
Is there a protocol? I mean, I know you have your protocol, but at any time, if there's a fight going on, can you just grab someone and just throw them in the pool to defuse it?
No. I think being in the pool is even more dangerous.
No, just one of them. Like, you're trying to separate them, and just one is not having it. Can you just go, enough with you, and throw them in the pool?
It might work. I never had for working there for 2 years, I never had the issue with people escalating when I'm around. I've never been in one of the fights. I've never been in when things escalate that high, because I feel like I talk to people very well, that there's no need to it escalate. I know some other guys that are just... Like, I do security at a nightclub. There are people they're there to have a good time. I understand that. And, like, I don't, like, try to kind of, like, feel bigger, because I'm not that big of a guy neither. I'll get huge guys, like, 180, 190, like, and I'm like, hey, bro, you better calm down, or you got to go. And they're like, all right, I'm going to calm down. Like
180, 190 is pretty
they're pretty big. But
anything over that,
but for me, I feel that I think there's that confidence in me that I don't care how big you are. If you're like a regular person that doesn't know what you're doing, I'm gonna put you down and I'm gonna control you regardless. I'm that confident in my skill and that confident in myself that I don't how big you are. If you have no skills, like usually anyone at a pool club, they're just regular people just having a good time.
Right.
You know, they're not there to fight. They don't like. There's few fighters that come in. TJ Dillashaw just showed up maybe International Fight Week. He was there having a good time.
At Encore.
Yeah.
Cool.
So there's a few like that, but other than that, it's just normal people. So I've been good. I talk to people, make sure everyone's having a good time.
Did he have a little bag with some snakes in it?
No.
I'm not calling him a snake, but he brought snakes on the show, remember?
I missed it.
Yeah.
I missed it.
He was playing it up. He's playing up the angle of, okay, you're going to call me a snake, then you know what? I'm going to roll with snakes, yeah.
No, I missed all the shows. I have not been keeping up with all the tough stuff. Just the last one I watched was the Benavides one because I helped coach it once, a couple shows here and there. Robert Follis invited me to come in, help out with the guys. Since then, I haven't watched it because it's on a Wednesday and I work Wednesday night, so it's like.
Gotcha. All right. Speaking of, have you guys ever seen, and then we'll talk MMA here, speaking of pool and fight, have you ever seen the Russians that get in a fight at a pool that's got dolphins in it?
Oh, where they're slipping and sliding everywhere?
That was a good one,
man.
That
is great. Let me see if I can find it.
See if you can find it, and then we'll show it to Gustavo. Gustavo, what's next for you?
Right now,
I looked at the board on Extreme, and I don't think I remember seeing Lopez versus anybody.
There is not there. I just fought maybe a month ago, maybe 3 to 4 weeks ago. I fought in Spokane on a small promotion.
You won 2-fight win streak.
Yeah.
I saw it. Yeah.
Quick little arm.
Dana White's Contender Series. Any chance there?
There's a chance. There's a chance.
I've seen some bantamweights in there.
There's some bantamweights that I feel I could just dominate. Like the guy that just recently got a contract at 35, O'Malley.
O'Malley.
He came into Extreme.
Tucson,
yeah,
right?
he came into
Or
Extreme and
yeah.
good striking, but took it to him. So it's like, I'm like, hey, I'll fight him. He wants a good fight coming in. I'll jump right in for him. Like, there's some of the people I see on there is like.
Have they asked you to be on a card?
I haven't even asked to be on there. I think we've been busy just with Combate, and then just recently I'm an open agent right now.
Right.
So I'm not signed with them right now. So I'm open to fights. I want to stay active.
What's your manager saying?
See, my manager is Misha.
Yeah, Misha Tate's
Misha
Gustavo's
Tate's
manager.
My new manager. She has this new management company called AO8. So the Art of Eight. So 8 limbs. So elbows, knees.
What's it called again?
Art of 8.
Oh,
so,
Art of 8. Okay.
So AO8.
AO8. All right.
AO8 management.
And so, what's the president of AO8 say?
Misha just. We're gonna stay busy. We want to stay really busy. There's we both feel that we're like 1-2 fights away to just getting already into the UFC. Like, we're dominating people.
So the Contender Series is a serious option.
It's a good option.
Okay.
It's definitely a good option.
But you feel like you could maybe even bypass that and just get in, right?
I think so. I think we're.
So stay in shape, maybe late notice, that type
ready,
of thing?
Yeah, like a late notice, something like that. The Contender Series could be an option.
Because the Contender Series isn't automatic. I want people to know this. There's 5 fights. That means there's 5 winners, unless there's a draw, which there hasn't been yet. But then the 5 go back to a room, and then at least 1, maybe 2, get informed that they are now a part of the UFC.
Or any.
Yeah.
There might be a bad card. And
well, we haven't had that yet,
luckily,
but we've had 2 1s and 2 2s, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I suppose that could be, 5 dog shit fights.
Yeah, you got to go in there. You got to dominate. And all the guys that I seen on there have been super tough kids. Super tough guys that, you're fighting another tough guy. Very rarely in that shows you're going to have someone that you're going to have a tough fight regardless of who you're going to fight on there. So it's a tough series that you're going to fight someone super tough. You got to show, the last fight, Dan Ige dominated his fight. Like, oh, he's going to get picked, and then pop, and then he got bumped down. No, maybe next time.
Has anyone speculated that because he's works very close with Ali? I mean, I think Ali most of the time is cool with him, but I've seen Dana White one time say Ali's crazy. He had to do something with negotiations. So I always wonder if the mood of the manager can sometimes trickle, because I thought Dan fought his ass off.
Oh, I thought he was gonna get it.
Yeah, and I was like, what?
Saw the fights, saw the rest of them. Like, oh, he's got to be the first pick. At least him and somebody else. Maybe the last knockout was good.
I think even if you don't like what you see out of the guy there, even though he was dominant, I think like go back a couple fights and just see what he's done there and let that trickle over as well. I think that whole combination of that package for Dan should have got him in.
He should have,
thought
for
so
sure.
too,
I thought
man.
he's tough guy in the gym. He trains here at Extreme Couture and just dominant. And he's a good size.
Quiet guy too.
Quiet guy, nice. Wife's really nice. Everybody just, everybody at Extreme just so friendly. Like everybody, you never expect none of us to be crazy ass fighters. We're just very good going guys that love to have a good time and train our ass off.
Your manager's a former UFC champ. She works for Fox. She also represents the UFC a lot when she goes as a featured guest, invited guest. So is the push really for the UFC, or does she have inroads with PFL? They have a $1 million tournament. One of the coaches there at Extreme Couture is the president.
Yeah,
and then Bellator. Are there options other outside the UFC, or where do you want to take your career?
I want to stay active right now. That's all I want to do. I haven't fought since maybe the last one in Spokane, but before that, the combate was in January. I fought Steve Swanson up in Mexico City.
Tough kid.
Super tough kid. 14.
That's Cub Swanson's brother.
Cub's older brother. Yeah, and he's a striker. He was I think like a 9-fight win streak by first round knockouts. Everybody, TKOs, everybody. We stood and banged with him and clipped him really good. And he took a shot on me, and then I guillotined him. So it was like dominant win right there against a super tough guy. Another finish. I'm just, maybe a couple more finishes.
I mentioned PFL. You said there was an offer?
Yeah, no, Ray Steffel offered me a fight already on the Vegas show here. So
and that kind of leads towards maybe the
big tournament. To the big tournament, yep.
Gotcha.
That's there. Combate, still talking to them. Because even though I'm not on the contract, I feel like if they keep me active, I'll love to fight with them. They're a great promotion, good fan base, all the Hispanics,
I hear
all
that
Latino.
from a lot of people. They treat their fighters
pretty well. They treat their fighters really well. That's one of the things when I was signed with them, they take care of everybody. There's issues at home, there's stuff like that. They're willing to help. Like one of the people that work for them is a Brandy. Like my girlfriend was sick, she had like a little fever, and I let her know because her husband's a doctor, and he prescribed like a medication, stuff like that, and just did it all himself. Came over and helped her out.
Oh wow!
Like from nowhere, and we didn't even know each other just through the fighting career, but they're willing to help people if they need it. There's a couple of occasions that Campbell McLaren has helped some fighters. Certain occasions, some guy in Florida, Cuba, something happened over there, like some medical stuff. He got hurt, and then he helped out with the medical bills. They're great people, willing to help, and they're growing. So that's another option.
How many fights do you have under Misha, her being your manager?
Past 3-4 fights been with her.
Okay.
So I like it.
Tell us about, I guess, her strengths. One thing we forget in the UFC is just Reebok. Here's $2,500. Thanks. Outside the UFC, if you and your manager work hard, there may be some opportunities to subsidize and make a little bit more money there as well. You know what I mean? And, you're both entrenched here in the fight capital of the world. And, again, she's super popular, and I'm sure she's got some connections. So was that actually even part of why you decided to go there? And how did you guys even form that relationship?
Well, we've been friends for the past, 7-8 years. I've been her training partner when she won her Strikeforce title. So we've been together since then, and we're training back in Yakima, and from there I decided to go finish my schooling, so I went to Menlo College and got my bachelor's in finance. And as soon as I was done with that, Brian was like, hey, come to Vegas, stay with us, we'll take care of you, get you on your feet. So I lived with them, just graduated, was starting my finance career, and I'm like, my passion's in fighting. I love to fight, I love to train, and I was trying to do both, and it was super stressful. And I just, what? I could always go back. I got my degree. It doesn't go away. It doesn't expire. I'm still keep up on all that stuff. So if I ever need to go back to it or would like to go back to it, it's there. The option's there. Other than a bachelor's in finance, I got 2 associates in business and accounting.
So look at you.
Very savvy, very smart with numbers, very intelligent kind of guy. But my passion is in competing. I want to be the best in the world. I want to be, right now, the pinnacle of fighting is being the UFC champion. That's 35 or maybe even 25.
Have you thought about, what about when fighting goes away? I know you have something to fall back on, but what about that little high that comes from fighting? What replaces that?
I don't know.
A big deal.
That's a huge deal.
Skydive or
$1 million deal. Shake hands, chocolates.
Oh, it's going to be crazy. I haven't skydived. I want to skydive. But I don't know. I'm very adrenaline junkie. I love to go crazy, do big things, and make decisions like that. I don't know.
I have fun doing some of that stuff, but I also get dizzy when I'm hanging up something on the wall and I have to stand on a chair or something, a ladder. So I don't know where I fall and all that.
Has Misha taken you on that zip line?
Yeah.
From the Rio?
No.
From one end to
I
the
used to
other?
work for them.
Did you?
Oh, yeah?
I used
For
to
the
work
actual zip line or for Rio?
the zip line.
Oh, wow. So you've been in it, on it many
I've
times.
been on plenty of times.
All right.
So you're not afraid of heights then? You've
Not
been
afraid
up there for a
Not
long
afraid of
time?
heights. Nothing going. Have you done it?
Hell no.
You got to do it. We will
How
set
often do they check the cable to go, yep, it's fastened?
on a daily. They have never dropped anyone yet.
Right.
No accident so far.
All right, but every day they check it out and make sure.
Every day, early in the morning, we test it. They test it. Make sure there's a technician that comes in. All the wires. They check the rope. Make sure there's no any strain, rips. Nothing. They've never had an accident.
And they're really good at checking. Like there's never a guy that's like, oh yeah.
No.
This is
No?
They're on
the only way I would do it, and I learned this from the what's it called, guys?
The bungee jump thing?
No, the thing that shoots you up at the stratosphere.
Oh, the big shot.
The big shot is the anticipation is what kills me.
It is.
So you go up the elevator and then you look out and you go, okay, cool, yeah. But then that's when my mind starts wandering.
Yep.
Did the technician come in? Did they cross it off? Did his
having a bad
supervisor
day?
make sure nobody took a break, nobody slacked off or whatever? Because
Put the seatbelt
I don't want to
right.
be that statistic. You know what I mean? And so now if I could just walk in and just fasten me up and do it, I'll do it. And I'll probably say after the first time, I'll go, do it again.
Do it
'cause
again,
I just
yep.
conquered it. I just yelled out loud and I let it go and I'm feeling good. Same thing with the Rio. But if I have to stand in line and look and think, ooh, it gets bad. And then I mean,
we can set it up.
reconsider.
I could set it up that we will, there will no in line. We'll go straight
Just
up,
walk
get
in.
it, walk it, and go.
And you know what's another thing? Because I'm fat, I've noticed
You
on
fit.
roller coasters, I'm
You'll
in
fit.
between this phase where, like, when you put the harness over,
click.
I'm like, you know, and I have to, like, yeah, it just happened to be at New York.
Okay.
And they're like, sir, you got to squeeze it. And so then I'm doing this. And then, you know, and then I get this last click. Oh, next thing you know, I have to, like, you know, hold my breath. So I have to, like, probably drop a good 20 pounds.
Then I think the
and
weight
then be
limit is like
comfortable.
350. Unless you're over 350, and I doubt it.
No, hell no. Come on.
Exactly. You're good. No simple click.
Really? Just
Get
like, what is it? Here or here?
Here.
That's it.
That's it.
Damn, you gonna do it?
We will set it up.
I don't know. Why'd I open my big mouth? I
will-
just should have said I don't do
I
it.
will text Johnny right now and we'll set it up. Johnny's one of the owners of the zip line.
Yeah.
We'll call him up like, hey, we have MMAjunkie that wants to go set it up right now. We will go.
Blue corner, George. That's the blue corner.
The blue corner,
Technically,
huh? All right.
it would be
All right.
work related.
Let's take a break
We
here.
can make it happen.
You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio. Man, I'm getting my hands clammy just thinking about it. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We have Gustavo Lopez here in studio. And we'll be right back after this break.
Live or die before I get it done with you.
Junkie Nation, we're doing a quick break right now on Sirius XM, but we want to show you the street fight that we were talking about. These are, it's a Russian aquarium. You'll see some dolphins, and you just see two dudes come out, two goons come out, and they want to ask a couple people to leave, and then they basically start throwing blows, and it's a good one. People fall in the pool and shit.
Comical, man.
Watch this. See, look at these two.
So these are the security guys.
Yeah, they're security, and they're gonna bounce. They want to talk to these guys, but watch how close they start throwing, how fast they start throwing blows. I mean, it's on.
Oh, that's
you know what I
fucked
mean?
up.
It wasn't like
That is not right.
there was no Dalton there, be nice or nothing like that. Watch these two guys. Boom, in the pool.
Done. Problem done.
Yeah. So then this guy, I think he's there back.
They didn't wait at all. It's
Now
almost like they were
just
rushing.
watch. I've seen this about 100 times. Watch these guys. One guy goes that way, he falls back in.
Kicks him.
Think about how pissed they are. They're security.
Oh my goodness. Help me up. Nope.
Yeah,
Crazy.
no, look at this. Look at this. Right back in. No, watch him. He helps him out because they're homies.
This is a terrible day for them.
Oh, the guy comes from the top.
Yeah.
Get it back in a minute.
Watch him here. Got to keep an eye on both.
That's his second time out of the pool, right?
That's 2 times for him. Look, he gets a cheap shot in there. Boom, in the pool. He starts getting into it.
Oh, the guy
he
from the
goes in
back
the pool.
holds him.
Or he will go in the
Nope.
pool.
See, that's why
He's starting to get out.
I would not get up on that side. I would go around. That's his third time in the pool now.
Oh my!
And he keeps getting cheap shots in there, but then they just go, get out of here, get in the pool.
You don't have to put the swing at
Back at 30.
I think he winds up in the pool again.
Oh, double leg. Horrible double leg.
Look at that. Look at the cheap shot he gets in.
So there's difference.
He just came out of the pool again.
There's a big difference of people.
Look at that. Just cheap shots. So that's why they keep throwing his ass in the pool.
Alright, guys, coming back in 10. Stand by.
I'm gonna hit you. Oh.
He goes
4 times.
King Kong has a lot of shit on
Pull it down, too.
them. Like a lot, especially Goes. Here, Gorgeous George and Goes.
At some point, you have to pull one of them in the pool, even if it doesn't mean anything, just to get them wet.
Right. Well, they've been getting their cheap shots in.
Hope they got a
but they
cell
keep
phone or
getting
something.
thrown in the pool. Yeah. I'm telling you, if you kind of like, what I had to do was just isolate myself on one person, and then I started to get the statistics of who was with who. Because once the guys in the blue got wet, see, he went back in the pool.
It's the guys in the black. So
Yeah.
all the guys in the black are the security.
Can't even get at that.
Oh, no, I know, but there was a couple guys, like he was the guy in the yellow. He was just kind of chilling and minding his own business. He came over to help.
Could be a guest. Just
Could
a
be,
random
yeah.
guest.
And thank God it's the dolphin pool, right? Can you imagine if it was the killer whale pool?
Yeah, no
fast it
shit.
would be?
You better get out of that.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, Gustavo. How you doing on time?
I'm all day.
Yeah. All right. So we obviously have to talk to Gina, your teammate.
Yeah.
And so you'll become our co-host now.
Let's do it. Bring her
We're gonna do another commercial with a sports update. Sorry, back-to-back commercials. We got on a roll here though with Gustavo. So we're gonna pay some more bills. We'll do the sports update. Then we'll come back. We'll take some calls, and then we will talk to Gina Mazany, UFC bantamweight, and then we'll keep analyzing this the street fight here behind me.
I think they go in the pool one more time.
They do, man. I'm telling you, it's hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
I've seen a lot of street fights, but that one cracked me up.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they went at it really, really good there.
No, all the guys here at Win, they train. They send them to the PFC thing with Chad Lyman, and they get proper training on how to defuse stuff, and how to, if it gets that escalated, how to hold people in a certain way.
Yeah.
You don't start swinging at nobody. That's a straight lawsuit.
Folks, we'll be right back. After this break, you're listening to SiriusXM Rush 93, and this is Gustavo Lopez fighting out of Extreme Couture. He's here with us in studio. We'll be right back.
Las Vegas turning day into
Over 100?
Yeah.
Okay.
Greetings, loved one.
Oh boy, here we go.
Walk out to this.
You ever heard this song before?
What?
Yeah. You want to rap the Snoop part?
Do it.
Our last few guests have done it. You wanna try it? They haven't been good.
I really wish
the bar hasn't been raised.
I really wish I knew it and I could just like bust it out real quick.
Yes.
You guys like, whoa,
Chase was good. You didn't think Chase was good? George?
He was all right, yeah. But I don't want to intimidate Gustavo. The last guy was good. You don't want to do it. You're gonna start. So I was trying to go the other direction. It's too late, Gustavo. You're gonna do it. Here we go. By the way, our audience hates us right now because we keep playing this song.
But what they don't get is the more they hate us, the more we're gonna do it.
Yeah. If they would turn it around and go, man, I really dig it, then we'd stop.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be fun anymore.
Okay, this is what you're gonna sing. All right. I think it's coming up. Wait.
No, it's still a while away.
Oh, not yet. Yeah. So the way he says it is tone, tan, fit, and ready. All right. Give it a little bit of spice. Don't just lay an egg and read. Like really get into it.
He's texting
and then
me
at
right
some
now
point,
saying, what'd you get me into?
At some point, I'm gonna scroll up just because we don't have enough room here. All right. I may join in a couple. There's a couple lines I like.
I remember the song. I might not even need it.
Oh,
Really? You know the word? I mean the everything?
Hopefully.
Keep in mind, this is the guy that's in charge of the zip line that you're gonna go down. So you don't wanna.
Not anymore. I used to work for them. Now I do all the nice stuff.
Big Jim, by the way, just texted me. Says I'll go with you. Well, that would put us like at 500 pounds. That's not a good idea, right?
No, you want like Demetrius Johnson.
I want someone light to go with me,
He's
right?
been on there. He's been a guest over there.
Demetrius?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Who was the fighter that did it? Or wasn't a fighter? Huh? It's just here we go. Here we go.
Turn it up, 'cause it's getting heavy.
Wow.
West Coast. These are the girls I love the most. I mean the ones, I mean like she's the one. Kiss her, touch her, squeeze her bones. The girls are crazy, drive a Jeep.
I'm messing up.
I'm okay, I won't play. I love the bass, just like I love LA. Venice Beach and Palm.
This is the part where you're supposed to be singing.
I know. I'm more about singing.
All that ass hanging out. Bikinis and cleans, martinis, no wings, just kidding. Katie, my lady. And look at here, baby.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
He's like looking at you like
you're horrible.
Yeah.
I'm horrible. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
He went from I know the lyrics, I don't need this to he didn't say a word. You didn't say a word.
Yeah.
I heard him say tan, fit, and ready.
That was it.
I heard something about weenies.
That was it.
All the people in the club were like this, and then they were like,
what the fuck?
Huh?
Wow. Okay.
That's how I'm
Stage
like-
right there.
Yeah, it was. I think that's exactly what it was.
Well, at least he's admitting it. All right. I
Yeah.
want to welcome to the show Gina Mazany,
Hello.
UFC bantamweight. How you doing?
Good. Great.
What
Glorious.
did you think of Gustavo's performance right now on a scale of 1 to 10? Keep it real. Keep it 100.
I mean, I'd give it a good hard 7.
What?
I mean, honestly.
Oh, you thought it was a scale from 1 to 100? I said keep it 100.
Where's it keep
if
that
it
all
was a
secret?
scale of 1 to 100, you're pretty right on.
There you go.
It was about a 7.
That's like how I sound when with Despacito. I'm obsessed with that song. But all I know,
you're doing the
Despacito
Spanish part?
and the key. I really want to learn it just because I really.
What is
am one of those-
Despacito? I know I'm out of it.
I mean,
I'm out of the
slowly,
loop.
right?
Yeah.
Despacito. Okay, yeah.
Des-
It's a song, but hey, when Latin guys speak Spanish, even though you don't understand it, it's pretty dope, right?
It is.
It sounds
yeah.
great. Everybody loves it.
It's just smooth.
Can you play it, Danny? Do you have that song? I want to know what everyone's talking about.
I think we just came back.
Ooh.
That was it.
This is
Earlier this week.
Despacito?
This is it.
Yeah.
Who plays this? Or
Dude, you
who
had to
sings
have
this?
heard this song, George. I don't care how sheltered you are. At some
Come and
point.
move that in my direction. Thankful for that.
Is this like Enrique Iglesias or somebody?
It's Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber?
Well, the beginning part. On this one.
Oh.
There's like different versions of it.
Yeah, this is like the.
Somebody back me up. That was Justin Bieber.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that was,
Okay.
yeah, it's
this is
Bieber,
Justin
Bieber and someone else. I used to have the fever for Bieber.
What's the original?
Yeah, don't tell anybody.
Who sings the original?
I know. Everyone knows.
The original. But this is a popular one.
All right. Gina, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you originally from? Are you you're not a Vegas person,
Get
right?
to the part.
Huh?
This is the part.
Oh, she's gonna sing it?
No, I don't know. I don't know the parts.
But this is what she's talking about.
But then I know this part. It'll say like Despacito and the Paquito Paquito. Those are the only parts I know.
She sounds like a waitress at Chili's, huh?
A little bit.
Right?
A little bit.
Would you like the
You want a
quesadilla, sir?
taquito? You want a taquito and then chorito?
Yeah. Okay.
And some pico de gallo, huh? No, I'm that girl. Sorry.
How long have you been with Extreme Couture?
2 years.
2 years?
2 years, yeah.
Where are you from?
Originally from Alaska, born and raised.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So another Northwest in the house? Northwestern in the house?
Well, and I actually used to live in Washington, so I moved from Alaska to Washington, and I lived there for about 6 years. And then I moved to the desert of Vegas.
How long have you known Misha? She's your manager, correct?
I've known her for about 5-6 years.
I see.
I first met her when I was training over at Ivan Salavery's in Seattle. And then when I came to Extreme Couture, it was awesome. Got to train with her and help with fights and learn a lot from her and get beat up by her. It was great.
Yeah.
The MMA scene out there is really big, isn't it?
Where? In
Alaska, Seattle, that region.
Yeah, people like it. There's honestly a really good fan base there too. Like a lot of people in Alaska, they really enjoy watching fights, and I feel like it's pretty similar with Washington. I don't know if it has to do with like the crappy weather when it's really cold and rainy, and people are like, I want to watch violence. I don't know, but
maybe
that'd be my guess.
Have you ever, like that over here? You ever fought outdoors?
Not professionally.
Was she at the Encore last week? Was that her at the Encore last week?
Oh my goodness.
Was there a battle?
Yeah, it was a battle.
Oh.
No, ask Brian Caraway the next time you see him about the fight he had outdoors, and it was raining. So that's how they get down in the Northwest. This was way before UFC or anything else. He was telling us about a story where he fought outside. It was raining, and it was a really, really cool story. It was funny.
Yeah.
Slipping, falling. Back in the day, they just kept on fighting. There was no hardly any rules. Like his first amateur fight was kind of like a pro fight. Like he had to fight this pro, and he's like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And Cody McKenzie's told us about some fights at a bar they used to have, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was in Alaska, actually.
Yeah,
it may have been Washington, but he used to tell us about that as well. So we've heard some pretty cool stories from the Northwest. And, of course, you're way, way up Northwest. Anchorage.
Yeah. We also used to have bar fights. That was actually one of my first fights was at a – well, you weighed in at a bar, and you kind of like – I weighed in, I was like 145, like little thing. I was like 18, and then another chick weighed in. She was like 170, but she had like a mom haircut and had like the shoulder pads in her jacket. I'm like, oh, I'll beat her up. It's fine. I was like, thought I could.
This was like a tough man contest or a real MMA fight?
It was actually a boxing fight.
Oh,
she beat the crap out of me.
Really?
Oh my, yeah. Because she got in the ring, and I was all like little and tiny. And she like took off her jacket. She had like delts, like man delts.
They weren't shoulder pads.
No, they weren't, dude. That's so real. Yeah, they weren't. It was like her real shoulders.
She just boxed you up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was.
Wow.
But I mean, but then I was like, okay, I still like it. I came back, so it's kind of nice in a way.
Have you gotten your next fight booking yet?
No, Mish and I are in the process of doing that right now. So hopefully soon. Soon. Soon would be cool.
Can you both speak on how it's like to work with Misha as your manager? Like, what's she like? I guess we haven't heard, we've been doing the show for a long time, but so we know how Mal Kikawa works, or Ali Abdelaziz, or Adi Attar, or Brian Butler. We kind of know who's got their style and how they do it, but what's she like, I guess? How does she operate?
Right now, she's been busy, but we're just joined with this other management company, so it's together. So these guys, his name is Robert. He's the one that's doing most of the legwork, making the calls and making sure. Like we have a couple sponsors already lined up, and there's more to go. There's Urban Greens, talking to them, all the local ones here in Vegas, and also calling all the promotions. So these people are going to be doing all the legwork, as far as I know, calling people, making sure connections, and Misha will be like the big boss, making the final decisions, making sure we're taken care of, making sure the fights that are just good enough to showcase our skills and just keep on improving and getting those big shots.
Must be good though to have somebody that you can relate to, right? A teammate,
Yeah.
somebody that's been through the same things you have.
I think it's amazing when she first came up to me and decided like, oh, I want to manage you and do this, and I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah, really.
I'm like, yeah.
So she came to you.
Yeah, we were just talking about it, and just like, even before we actually made it official, she was older than my mentor. Like, I've been with them from the beginning. Her and Brian been my mentor since the beginning, and I always look to them for guidance and like, hey, should I take this fight? Because if it's for me, I'll fight anybody, anytime. Like, could be a very dangerous fight for me, and I'm like, who cares? I don't know any better. But now we made it official, and she does all the planning.
She pretty hands-on with the careers?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Talk to other guys, make sure things are set away, make sure the contracts are good. Don't want to get locked down into one company and, breaks the option to go see other options. So she does it all. She's amazing. And other than that, she's just a true friend.
Was she the one that gave you the news that you made it to the UFC?
Yeah, so that's
What was that like?
I was actually, where was I? I might have been here in Mandalay Bay. But I was like walking with one of my friends in town. We just got done eating a big steak dinner, and she called me. She's like, Gina, do you want to fight Sarah McMahon in 16 days? And I was like, yeah, of course I do. You can't say no. Like, she's like, with it, you'll get a contract and this and that. And it's, I was heavy, but needless to say, but it's one of those things where you can't say no. But the things that I like one thing I love working with Misha is that her and I have trained together. We spar together, we wrestle together, we grapple together. So she knows what I have to offer, what I have to put on the table. And I like it when she's like, Gina, you should fight so-and-so. I think that would be a really good fight for you. Because she's experienced, not only like with the game and probably a lot of the girls that are currently in the 135 division, but also like with me. So it makes me feel safe knowing that when she says, Gina, I think you should fight this girl.
Right.
Like this would be a good matchup for you. So it makes me feel a lot better, a lot more confident about taking it.
She is like a ground zero. She's fought a lot of the females, and she's probably trained a lot of the females, and she's probably one fight removed from. She may not have fought them, but maybe Juliana Pena or somebody else that can talk to her. So yeah, that's a good resource.
Yeah.
That fight with Sarah McMahon. You said 16 days notice. Like, did it even matter who the name was when Misha said it? It was just a matter of getting in.
Honestly, no. It's one of those things where it's like, a door opens and you got to run through it, and
like Kool-Aid?
Like Kool-Aid. That's what I looked like. I'm just kidding.
He runs through walls, right? Or doors?
Yeah.
I think he runs through walls.
He breaks through walls.
Like brick
What happened
walls.
to Kool-Aid? Everybody else is kind of like, doing this comeback stuff. The Colonel from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Not healthy enough.
Yeah.
My dad
Kool-Aid
still
just went
drinks
away.
Kool-Aid.
Does he?
Yeah. Every time I come home, like, he always has like a picture of Kool-Aid. Like, Dad, that's so bad for you. But
Do you like
he
Tang?
loves it. I love Tang. I actually used to eat Tang when I was like younger, just the powder.
Just the powder?
Yeah.
I've heard of somebody just eating ramen, just the noodles without
That's a
cooking
thing,
them.
yeah.
They just open
Really?
the bag
Yeah.
and eat it like chips.
Some lemon salt.
You do that too?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I learned that in college when I was broke.
Water doesn't cost that much.
Well.
It's the only other thing you were missing.
In some places.
Busy. Tastes good.
It tastes like chips. You just crunch them up and you put the seasoning on it. Maybe add a little like spicy like sauce on it.
Huh.
Did you what'd you major in?
I have a degree in graphic design.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You've actually had pretty cool jobs, right? Didn't you work with the video game company and stuff?
Yeah, I worked with a Facebook gaming company, and I did a lot of cool things. I work with this company called Versailles, like a T-shirt company, and I worked for like Talking Rain, and worked for like a lot of random jobs, but it taught me a lot.
Do you currently work now as well as being a fighter, or?
I work at a bar occasionally, but I also do some freelance design occasionally, but just on projects that I really want to work on.
What do you do at the bar?
I serve our local alcoholics.
Oh, okay.
Suckle up, bubs. Yeah, I am the feeder. But it's cool. It's fun. Pays the bills.
Yeah, and you got 2 jobs. Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, how close are you both to being just full-time fighters?
I'm hoping really close.
Yeah.
I feel like I keep trying to be a full-time fighter, and then I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm broke. I'm going to work again. Oh, fuck, I'm broke. Like, I'm trying. I would love that's like a dream.
So the plan hopefully with this management is picking up these big sponsors that would like, hey, what's your rent? What's your this? What are your necessities? Like, we'll pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Do your thing. Like, we're gonna support you. That's the
That'd be
dream.
so nice.
That's the
If you
dream.
could do that, how many fights what would be ideal for you in a year?
I love to fight 4 to 5 times, maybe even more if possible. If I go in there, dominate like I know I can,
Mhm.
I'll keep fighting every couple months.
Yeah.
Gina?
No, I mean
Yeah.
that'd be nice, but then there's always like injuries and
yeah. If
you
injury
know,
happens,
life.
those happens. But if I have no kids, just have my girl and my dogs, and now a cat.
Yeah.
I love to train and fight. I would love to do as much as possible if I could. Like the working is just it's a necessity right now to pay the bills.
I want to see you walk through the curtain and get a fist bump from the cat as you're walking
Dude.
down.
I'm gonna train that cat to do it.
You got to do that, man.
I just got a Bengal cat.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's
Yeah. Does it have a name?
Benzo.
Benzo. Okay.
Mr. Benzo.
Mr. Benzo.
What kind of
Mr.
dogs do you
Benzo.
have?
I have a pit bull. It's a female pit bull. She's a blue nose, like a year old.
Mhm.
I have a little Dachshund, like a white Dachshund. Cool little pattern. His name is Yoshi. And then we have the oldest that was my girl's when we first got together.
Frankenweenie.
Frankenweenie.
He's so handsome.
Pit bull and Dachshund mix together.
That,
Really?
It's awesome. You guys go to
So
my
it's a
social media.
long pit bull?
do you have a picture?
Go to my social media. He's everywhere. That dog is.
Frankenweenie. That's funny.
Does it look like a pit bull?
Do you have
that
any
ate like a
pets,
donut?
Gina?
I do.
Yeah? What do you
I
have?
have a blue pit bull and then a cat. So
Mm.
my dog's name is Cat and my cat's name is Bob. It's real.
Is the cat like short for Catherine or?
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Your brother fights as well, right?
Yeah.
Did he get you into mixed martial arts, or did you?
So it's a long time ago, 10 years ago, I was figure skating. I used to figure skate competitively for about 6-7 years, and I was just kind of over it, done with it. And my brother's like, "Why don't you get into jiu-jitsu and like learn some self-defense and stuff?" Same kind of like every girl's story. And then we kind of both started around the same time, and he went off to college, and so I was still in high school and I was like training. Or no, I was out of high school. Goodness gracious. What is math? But I got out and just started training. Yeah, we kind of like all started together. We just didn't, I don't know, which made it fun, learning all in the similar
How high
rate.
did you reach competitive figure skating?
I mean, nothing like crazy cool. Like I like traveled to competitions and stuff, but I was like young. I was like 16, 17. Like we traveled like Colorado, but I mean,
But
we
never
were
like an Olympic level or nothing.
No,
Oh, okay.
no. See that's kind of why I got out of it, is because they were like, "You're too muscular, you're too big, you're like, there's no way you could." Like they just wanted me to get skinnier and skinnier, and like I'm a thoroughbred Italian woman, and my legs aren't gonna shrink unless like I run a whole bunch and diet and weigh in, and then then I can go. Then I'll be skinny for a second, but yeah, that's kind of why I stopped it all. But fighting's way funner, more fun.
This was 20, 25 years ago, but did you ever hear the Tanya Harding story?
Yes.
Okay, she was Northwestern, as someone from the Northwest. I keep saying Northwestern, not to be confused with the university outside of Chicago or in Chicago. But yeah, Tanya Harding, if you haven't heard it, Google it. I think there may even be a 30 for 30.
Careful when you Google it, though. Make sure you're not.
Oh, yeah. She
There's other
did do
Tanya
other
Harding
stuff. But there was a gal named Tanya Harding from the Northwest who was a very good figure skater. And then back east in the Boston area was Nancy Kerrigan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were rivals. But Tanya Harding, along with a guy named Jeff Galooly or something like that, and another dude, conspired to actually attack Nancy Kerrigan. Have you heard that? No,
My brother and I actually.
To her leg,
yeah,
right?
there may be a 30 for 30 or one of those for it. Check it out if you haven't seen it, because it was like mind-boggling, back when it happened. What were we gonna say?
Oh, my brother and I, we actually like recently did a video on Instagram of like kind of making fun of that.
Oh, really?
Like we were going to one of his fights in South Africa, and we had his banner, and he like was hitting me with it, and we're like, oh my god, and like, oh, I'm Tanya Harding. Too soon?
No, not too soon at all. But I thought you meant. Never mind. When you said South Africa, it threw me off. I was like,
sorry.
So where's the correlation? No one's figures. Never mind.
It's okay.
You're a fun guest, actually.
Yeah.
Can you leave? No, I'm just kidding. No. You guys have been awesome. Seriously. I'm glad. You guys are only booked for 30 minutes, but we'd like you to stay till the end of the show if that's possible.
Let's party.
Yeah. We got to take some calls.
Kay.
So, but I do want to put one more stamp on this. You will be fighting in 2017. You are healthy.
Yes.
You're just kind of sifting through the offers, right?
Exactly.
I want to get something a little bit more concrete.
We are set.
What's leading the charge, or
right now the closest thing that's set for now is
PFL?
PFL is a good offer,
Yeah.
and then Combate.
Combate,
I know
alright.
PFA. The PFL one is on the table for like one here in Vegas,
Mhm.
so that'd be a huge one to be on, starting to get into that big tournament. And the other one I got offered is Combates. Their next show
cool.
is gonna be in September, like September 15, 16ish, and it's gonna be in California. So that's 2 solid offers, and we're just waiting on on solid opponents and everything. Soon Nisha does her job to book those, I'm ready to go. So when she makes it, she puts a dot on it, I'm like, let's fight.
We've known you for a while. We know your goal is eventually to get into the UFC.
That's the plan.
It hasn't happened yet, but is there a matchup, a guy out there that you would say, man, I would make for a hell of a fight with that kid?
Goodness.
You're going to get that same question, Gina. So you
I
better
know.
let
I'm
that
like,
stew.
let me Google
you
real
better Google some
quick.
people.
I already know.
I think
You know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would love to actually fight that eventually later in my career. I think that guy that Brian fought last from New York.
Aljamain Sterling?
Yeah, I think he bangs amazing. Good wrestling, good striking.
Got a big win against
good
Hannah Barrow.
Yeah, good win. I think I could fight him, and it'll be a brawl.
You mentioned something, though. You said maybe 25 about 15 minutes ago.
Yes.
Did you ever get considered for because you didn't hold a title, though, right?
No,
So everybody had to be a champion for that season. Okay.
Yeah,
never
no,
mind.
that was actually that happened before I got offered fight.
I see. Okay.
So no, yeah, everyone had a title. I'll be nice.
All right, so you got some offers coming, and you will fight in 2017.
For sure.
All right, and Gina, you will fight in 2017, right? You're
Hell
healthy?
yeah. I hope so. Yes.
Who do you want to fight?
So this is kind of a funny story. So her name is Lucy Pudilova. She's newly signed. But I originally wanted to fight her because she first got signed and she fought Lena Landsberg, and good scrap, really good fight. Lena ended up pulling off the win. And then after, my Twitter was like blowing up with like Lucy Pudilova being like, I want to fight Gina, like talking all this trash, and then like got on Instagram and she was talking all this trash, and I was like, I don't even, you know what I mean? Like I just got on the scene. I just got like beat up by Sarah McMahon, like taking a last minute fight. Like, what did I do? You know, I was like, so then I was like, it would be a good fight for me. But then it ended up being like a total like Twitter troll. You know what I mean? But at first I was like, Jesus, like what is wrong? Like, are you like, what's going on? But
you
yeah,
still want to fight her.
But yeah, no, I think it'd be a great matchup for me. I like long, lengthy people, like easier to taller their feet go.
There you go.
Gustavo knows. But I think that'd be a fun fight. Yeah, because similar fights, and I don't know.
Any particular card? There's one in Vegas coming up.
I would
at the
love that.
T-Mobile.
I would love that. I think there's one in. I feel like there's one in October and December.
You're right.
So I would love to fight locally just because.
That'd be so much fun.
It would be so much fun,
You know
and
what? I would always even fight that O'Malley kid that just got signed.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
He's a fresh incoming. Good knockouts. I'm like, I would put it on him.
Mm-hmm.
He's very unassuming, isn't he?
Yeah. No, came into know him a little bit, so
When
good guy.
When he walked out, we actually thought one of his corner guys was the fighter. Like, oh, who's that guy with?
Yeah.
And it turned out it was him.
It was him. He
Oh,
didn't.
goodness.
He looked like I kept saying a skateboarder, but you know he had the moppy hair and all that.
Moppy.
But he destroyed the Armenian, right?
I'm
Armenian
down for
kid.
these two matchups.
Yeah,
Should
me
make that
too. I
happen.
hope that happens.
be fun. It'd be cool.
And maybe at some point you and the troll too.
The troll.
That's
Oh
like
right.
unfinished
Ooh, let's
business
battle
there, right?
troll. You jerk. Hit him with the keyboard.
All right, we got to take a couple calls here, and don't forget tomorrow, UFC Fight Night 114 in Mexico City, Mexico, with your headliner of Sergio Pettis and Brandon Moreno in the co-main event slot. Alexa Grasso versus Randa Marcos, and as we stated earlier, Alexa Grasso missed weight. Chicks be tripping.
Girl.
Let's talk to Marco in Waco, Texas. Oh, he's back. What's up, Marco?
Marco from Waco, ¿qué pasa, vatos? Gina, Gustavo.
¿Qué pasó, man?
Hola.
Hey, you gotta finish the story. Tanya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan did go to the Olympics together, and they both got beat by the gold medalist Oksana Bayou. So that was the end of the story. So all that beef was for nothing.
Yeah.
Freaking.
Did you understand that? So
I did.
You did? Okay. You haven't seen it. You probably know the history. So they did wind up going to the Olympics, but somebody else won.
Lost to somebody else.
But the main story is between them two, I would say.
She ripped her shoelace or something, right, in the middle of her performance?
I'm not sure. I just remember one girl attacking another and that being a big deal. Afterwards?
When they actually competed,
Mhm.
I think Tanya Harding ripped a shoelace in the middle and kind of started crying about it.
Oh, I don't know.
You think it's funny that after Gina was talking about that Latin accent, all of a sudden Marco shows
I
up?
know. I thought that was a thing. I was like, really, guys? Like, I don't know Spanish. I'll learn.
Marco's got a good accent. Keep going,
He does.
Marco.
Keep going.
¿Cómo te va, Gina?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Hola.
Hey, Marco, let's say you were in a club and you're both single and Gina's there. She's got a little martini in her hand or whatever. What would be your give her an opening line? Mix in a little bit of Espanol and English. Yeah, make it smooth.
Hola, preciosa. ¿Puedo tener tu número de teléfono?
He said, hello, precious. Can I have your telephone number?
Oh, I'd be like, what? What'd you say? I can't.
I thought Hola Preciosa was a great start.
That's a good start.
But he went straight for the number. Wow, okay.
Straight, yeah.
So Marco's not messing around. Not.
Very aggressive in some workouts. So much. Hey, real quick, man. Diego Rivas, I did not know about this. I mean, even the fact that he's from Chile is great, but that he just had a battle with cancer and the guy beat this deadly form of cancer is even a bigger reason to follow this guy. Undefeated fighter from Chile, Temuco. I'm so behind this dude. And Rodrigo del Campo have a little interview with John Morgan on the MMA Roadshow. If you want an expose of what is the landscape of the TV deals in Latin America with Televisa kind of doing the UFC wrong and what they went to Fox Deportes Latin America, keep a listen on that because it's freaking amazing. We better let you guys catch you guys next week.
See you, Marco. You know, I don't know the story behind it, but I will tune in to the MMA Roadshow to check it out. But there was a panic I think it was before the UFC in Dallas, where our cousin who lives in Peru, or a few of our cousins, same thing. There was no access to the pay-per-view, to the fights on Fox Sports that we're so used to getting. Over there, you just have to be part of a sports package. There is no pay-per-view. You just get it. And then there was a contract dispute, so maybe this will shed a little bit of light on it. But now they have signed a new deal, so everyone in Latin America, I think maybe for except Brazil, it's all set. You can check out the prelims. You can check out well, it's not a pay-per-view, but you can check out the fights. So they have a new contract, and everybody seems to be happy. But that's kind of what Marco's talking about. All right, let's talk to Peter from Colorado. What's up, Peter?
Not much. How's it going?
Good, man.
So I want to get your guys' thoughts on this whole flyweight division thing that's going on here. With after the main event, I know that's who people are saying should get the title fight next, but Henry Cejudo fights in Wilson Reyes, and then Joseph Benavidez. About the time Demetrius Johnson might be ready to go again after his title fight might be starting to get healthy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll take it one by one. Cejudo was going to fight in Dallas, right, against Pettis. Mm-hmm. That didn't happen.
Yeah, so now he's scheduled against Wilson Reyes, right?
He's got 2 losses. So he had the title fight, he did the coaching stint, and then he lost to Benavidez. So I don't see him getting a title shot, another title shot, just by winning this fight that's coming up against Wilson Hayes. Wilson Hayes just lost to the champ. So I think both of them still need another fight, maybe even 2. I really feel Pettis, who I think's got a 3 or 4 fight win streak, is in the driver's seat. Some say he should have had it maybe ahead of Borg. And then Moreno's got 3 in a row, and he's been impressive. Everybody loves him. Mexican who speaks Spanish.
He's so amazing.
I feel like they might hold off one more fight for him.
Maybe for some seasoning, yeah, because Hiraguchi got kind of thrusted in there, man. And because Demetrius has wiped out the division, a lot of these fighters have fought, I think, sooner than they've been ready to go. But
Unless
regardless,
he was completely dominant.
Let's not forget, anything can happen in this sport. If Borg wins, Demetrius is getting an instant shot. So you're right. Everybody else may have to take another fight. Benavidez is scheduled to come back in 2018. I just don't know if he walks into a shot. He may need that one more fight before, just because of a fucking 7-fight win streak. Or what does he have, 5?
Something like
that. And beating Cejudo doesn't get you the shot. I just don't know how to read the division nor their matchmaker. So lots of things in play. Win and win impressively is what I say.
That's a plan.
Also, Brandon Moreno seems like the Mexican version of Mick Lovin from Superbad.
Yeah.
The way he acts after post-fight interviews, I think he's a great personality. And the flyweights looking for someone to push as a star. I think Brandon Moreno could be that guy that people get behind. He seems like a likable guy. He's funny. I think he could be a star if he can win a couple more fights.
Good stuff, man. We all agree.
Sure.
The sky's the limit for that guy, but he's got Pettis ahead of him. Pettis is tough. Hal in Chicago. What's up, Hal?
Hey, let me show Marco how it's done. Gina.
Hello.
Hey, you're looking very pretty over there.
I what?
I was hoping you could join me for a day. So you're looking very pretty over there.
Oh, thanks.
And I was hoping you could join me for a dance. And before you answer, just know that we're going to take it despacito. Quiero respirar tu cuello despacito. Deja que te digas cosas al oído.
He knows the
para que te
words.
acuerdes si no estás conmigo.
Wow.
Despacito. Quiero desnudarte besos despacito.
Uh-oh.
Say what they close
Paredes de tu laberinto.
Is that what he's saying?
De tu cuerpo todo un manuscrito.
I don't know the words.
I'm on my dance now.
He's
Wow.
he's
I
already.
like the beginning part of it. He should have stopped because the rest of the song,
Yeah.
it says like, whoa.
And the rest of the club is now going, what the hell's going on?
Why is he saying
See, and I'm like, I just like the tunes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they're
What'd you
saying.
think? If you were in the middle of writing down your number for Marco and Hal just did that, would you say, Marco, we're
Sorry.
good, and just
Give
rip
it-
up the number and turn to Hal?
Give Marco
or
like 8
like,
numbers?
who's in the lead here?
God, I don't know. Well, the problem is that I actually have a real life boyfriend.
Well, we know that.
But I mean,
we're beyond the whole.
I know,
Hal's
but-
married, Marco's
we're in the
married.
club. We're in the club. It don't matter.
This is in pretend.
Okay.
We're in Vegas.
So I'd probably, I don't know. I think it'd be the Despacito one would
Yeah,
be
okay.
in the lead, because the first one went for the number pretty quick, and you know you can't just go in for the knockout punch right away. You can try, but
Why'd you call
know.
him a real life boyfriend? Why not just a boyfriend?
Because I don't know actually.
I know why.
Why?
Because some girls have boyfriends that they've never met. They're like internet boyfriends. So I
Yeah.
guess if you haven't met them in real life, they could just be. Hell, Junkie Nation's done that. I know that. You don't think so?
That's not why she said it.
Oh. Well, I'm trying to bail her out.
Go ahead, Hal.
It's real life.
Hal, you're
He's real.
You're called.
It's real. It's real. Yeah, exactly.
That's what
It's
I was
real.
thinking.
Well, that's kind of what it is. Because I'm like, I have a boyfriend, and they're the guys at the gym like, no, you don't. Like, he's never, because he lives in San Diego, and so I maybe it just doesn't seem real.
You guys met?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Thought, wait a minute. Am I describing? Okay. Hal?
Last question. Is it true that men outnumber the women in Alaska by a lot?
Yeah.
And, so, like, did you find that that was a good reason also for leaving? It was kind of too much thirst over there?
No, I mean, I think growing up, I think it's
Thank you, Al.
evened out a little bit now. But yeah, before it was like every woman, there was 4 or 5 men.
Why was that?
I honestly think because there's a lot of work up in Alaska
Okay.
and really good money to be made. But yeah, I don't know, just something different.
What's the coldest you've ever experienced?
40 below, and I was actually on a trip with my dad. We're on snowmobiles from Tok, Alaska to Dawson, Canada, and it was a 200-mile trip, and it was 40 below.
Damn.
Yeah, and I got like frostbite under. I had to put duct tape right here because it protects from frostbite. But it was beautiful. It was really fun. Very cold.
And you snowmobiled it the whole way.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever done the thing where the dogs are pulling you? The
Oh,
Iditarod?
yeah. I have. Well, I've done it like my friends like she like let me go for a little bit, but
Right.
nothing like hardcore. Like I wish though, because then I could have like
You
10
can tell
dogs.
Gustavo's Hispanic. He said the bobsled. It's not the bobsled. It's dogs
Dogsled.
leading.
Yeah,
you.
dog sled.
Yeah. Oh, dog sled. I thought you said the bobsled. I was like, that's way off. All right. No, I apologize then. We got to take a break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93. When we come back, we have an overseas call, so we'll get him in right away. It's Ben from New Zealand. Well, MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM, Rush 93. We'll be right back.
I can't explain this.
At MMA Junkie Radio. This is MMA Junkie Radio. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Gustavo.
It got me.
NASCAR heads to the Glen this Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern for the I Love New York 355 at the Glen, live from Watkins Glen. Race coverage starts at 7 a.m. Eastern on your home for 24/7 NASCAR coverage. SiriusXM, NASCAR Radio, Channel 90. You know, I had a feeling it was one of those goes, but it still kind of made me.
Yeah, I'm glad it was on tape.
I jumped.
Jump back a little bit. So we're joined here by Gustavo Lopez, fighting out of Extreme Couture. He's fought for Combate Americas. He's looking to maybe fight with them again, or maybe the PFL, or maybe the UFC. We don't know. We're trying to get to it, but he will fight in 2017, represented by Miesha Tate. Gina Mazany on the far right. She fights in the UFC. She's a bantamweight, and she's looking to fight at some point in 2017, preferably Vegas. And you said there's a chance there with that Russian, right?
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, you might as well, if there's a little bit of heat, build it up.
I mean, it's really not. I'm friends with everybody. I'm one of those.
Did the real life Hudalova, what was her name?
Pudilova?
Pudilova?
I don't really know. I mean,
Did she chime in at any point?
I think she was like, someone got, from what I've heard, she's like a very quiet, like not like a nice girl. Mm-hmm. So she's like, someone took my social media and like took it over. So it's nothing personal. It'd be.
Just make it personal.
Make it personal.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's talk to Ben in New Zealand. Hello, Ben. How you been?
Have an accent.
Ben, you there?
Sweet, Gigi. How you been?
Good, mate. How you doing?
You just asked me that.
Oh, okay.
You did.
Yeah. Sorry.
You got us.
Happy Friday.
Hey, I just want to I've got a question for Gina and Gustavo, but I just want to tie into Peter's call from earlier and tie that back into the fight from last weekend.
Okay.
But Daniel Cormier, he has 13 wins above the division in which he was world champion, which is super impressive, right? John Jones has a super long streak of title defenses, and he's undefeated in this division, which is also very impressive. And you'd have to say both of those guys are two of the greatest in the history of the game, right? Now imagine if there was a fighter with a combination of both of those great fighters. Imagine if there was a fighter who had won more than a dozen fights above his natural division and is undefeated in his division with a ton of defenses in his natural weight class. Just imagine if Demetrius Johnson was a real fighter and not just a made-up character.
We get where you're going. That just makes sense.
I see what you did there.
It's good.
Good job, Ben.
I'm not going to say anyone's loco for saying, John Jones is #1 pound-for-pound fighter on the planet right now, but anyone who fails to recognize that Demetrius has already done what John hasn't and proved himself many, many times against bigger opponents, you're missing a huge part of what makes a P4P great, right?
Well, but when you get to the top, we split hairs, because they're all great. So when you look at the resumes of GSP,
1 and 2.
Anderson
One
Silva,
and 2.
John Jones, whoever else
He's
is up there, Demetrius Johnson, obviously, you have to really, really, examine. And there's the John Jones people that'll say, hey, our guy's never lost. Now, there is the Hamill technical loss, but aside from that, he's never been outperformed by anybody, whereas Demetrius has dropped 2 fights. Yes, they were at bantamweight, so that takes a little bit of this thing off, but they are still 2 losses that Jones hasn't had. So I don't call the Jones people supporters crazy, and yeah.
Well, maybe John calling out Brock is his way of trying to start catching up to Demetrius, eh?
Nah, that's a big payday for him. Brock's a pay-per-view draw, so he wants the money. That's just a massive payday for WMEIMG, for Brock Lesnar, for John Jones. Make no mistake, the pound-for-pound talk's fun and all. If you sit them down, they'll talk it out. But I think you just get to a level where those guys are so great, they just want to know what's the next fight that can get them paid.
Yep. Johnson said it. I haven't fought in a while.
Man,
he wants to get paid.
Being serious. I think John already thinks he's the best dealer.
Excuse me?
Yeah, we just got this delay happening, so we're just going to talk over each other a bit since I'm about 1 million miles away. But here's what I was going to ask Gustavo and Gina, was that do you remember the first fight or the first fighter you ever saw and looked up to, and who was maybe your inspiration to start in MMA yourself?
I can't even remember the first MMA fight I watched.
So I'm trying to. So growing up, I remember being like with my brothers. We would go to like Blockbuster and get like the Pride DVDs, or excuse me, the Pride VHSs. And I remember I loved watching Rampage, but I loved everything about him. Like I loved his character, and it just made, because I'm also a big pro wrestling fan, and so I feel like what's better than a awesome fighter and a badass personality, you know what I mean? So I've always
the slow walk.
Yeah,
it's cool,
just like
man.
he just like has so much like
the how,
like he just has his own gimmick. So I always liked, but he didn't. He isn't like who I looked up to like start fighting. That was just kind of like my crazy
first memory or
yeah.
whatever.
But that was like my he was one of my top 8 friends on MySpace. Remember you could do like your top 5 favorites. That was like him and Boss Rootin'. Yeah, it's okay.
How about you, Gustavo?
I actually grew up watching boxing with De La Hoya and all those guys. It's like I never thought I was gonna get into the MMA scene. Like I got tricked into wrestling, and my first fight.
How'd you get tricked?
How does that happen?
Well,
hey, you want to go make out with some chicks? Yeah, let's go. Nope, you're in a wrestling match.
Surprise!
Surprise! No, like both of my older brothers are like they used to lift weights when they were younger, and I used to be a smaller, little chubby kid. And I'm like, one guy was, hey, you should join wrestling. We're gonna lift weights and do all this. I'm like, yeah, I want to lift weights and get bigger and do some stuff. And then we never lift weights. We just wrestled, and I got good really fast, and just kept with it. And now I'm here in Vegas.
All right, so De La Hoya and Rampage. There you go. Good question, Ben.
Yeah, I love those answers. I'll get off the line now, but I'll be rooting for both of you next time you step into that octagon or cage or whatever it's going to be.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, take care, Ben. Thanks for the call. Have a nice weekend. It's probably the end of the weekend for him, right? It's like Monday over there.
2018.
Yeah.
Give
All
or
right,
take.
guys. I want to ask you each a street fight story. You kind of shared one, but you weren't really in it. So it looks like you want to go first. Go ahead.
My one and only street fight story, because I thank to God I've never been in any real fights. Never, since high school. Just one of the stories I do have was coming out of a theater. Me and one of my ex-girlfriends were in the theater, and she was very we were giggling and laughing for this movie because it was a funny movie, and the guy behind us was like, "Yo, man, shh." I'm like,
doing that? Okay.
Yeah, my girl kept laughing and like, "Bro, calm your girl." I'm like, "Bro, calm down. It's a funny movie."
What was the movie?
Relax. I don't even know what movie it was.
Okay, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Coming out of the theater.
Were you guys, in his defense, were you guys out of line? Were you laughing maybe a bit much? Or?
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little
That kind of does matter, though, because if it's like Saving Private Ryan and he's laughing his ass off, then that guy probably makes more sense, right?
No. So we walked, and I'm like, we talked it out, and then we just okay, whatever, watch the movie. And then walking out of the movie theater, I hear your girlfriend should be talking shit. Bah, right back in the head. Stumble for a second, turn around, he's coming at me. I give him a bear hug. And I'm like, I missed one of his arms, so he hits me once, twice more in the ear, and I'm like, whoop. Head first in the concrete, hold him down, bow, bow. I still got the scars on my right in the mouth.
In the movie theater or outside?
Outside, coming out, right outside. Boom, hit, drop, knocked him out. This happened, it felt like it was longer, but 5, 10, 15 seconds, it was done.
Did you stick around, or did you get out of there?
No, his girlfriend was chasing my ex-girlfriend. I'm I'm about to go over there and get her out of the way. So he did, and then he stands up all bloody everywhere. He's like, let's go if you're gonna want to go. He's like, fuck you. Leaves, and the funniest.
He left the girl?
No, they both just left.
Oh.
The funniest part at the end was this I think it was a homeless guy or some random. I think it was a homeless guy. He comes up to me hey man, you dropped your wallet. I'm like, oh, that's not my wallet. He's like, okay. Just runs off. He's like, okay.
Nice.
Takes off, and it was the funniest thing we ever. Wow.
That's what he gets for cold cocking him.
Yeah.
And the dude, I was 19, just started fighting maybe 2-3 years in. I knew how to wrestle already, so it was first thing I'm gonna do. I got hit.
Did a belly to belly suplex or what was it?
Yeah, like a belly to belly. Tossed him up, turned him head first right on concrete. Just whack.
Suplex City, population him.
How about you, Gina? How about a good street fight story?
So I have a couple, but this is probably my favorite, and it's okay. So I was at this bar in Washington, in Seattle, Ozzy's, and one of my good friends, teammates, works there, Dana, and this girl was like giving him a lot of crap at the bar, like just being a jerk and like whatever. And so finally, like I said, I'm like, yo, like, you know, just back off, leave him alone, whatever. And
But why was she giving him crap?
she was just like, where's my drink? My drink is, you know, one of those, which I can't stand. Like, I've always been in the customer service industry and like always treat people the way you want to be treated, no matter what. And so she was just being a jerk. And then so finally, throughout the night, she kept kind of like shoulder checking me. She was huge too. Like she was like probably like 6'3" with heels on.
Did she have those like, shoulder pads on too? Or?
Probably. Okay. And then she like, so anyway, so we ended up going outside, and I was outside, and then she kind of came out after me and started like getting in my face, and so like I went up to her and I grabbed her by the throat. I don't know why.
What are you, the Undertaker?
Yeah, I love pro wrestling.
All right.
So I grabbed her by the throat. And then next thing I know, my buddy Dana comes around with a cupcake and just mushes her in the face with a cupcake. What? And then she gets pissed off and starts running off, and then we start throwing cupcakes at her. Someone's birthday, and they had cupcakes.
Well, what would have been the move if the cupcake didn't interrupt the fight? Were you about to, you know...
I was thinking about, like, headbutting her. I was thinking about, like...
She's 6'3", and you already have her up in
the
the air.
Yeah, that's true.
Jump in the air.
I have headbutted somebody before.
Maybe if she picked you up, you guys would be even. You could headbutt.
Yeah, so maybe I was thinking like Undertaker, like
headbutts. Man, they get
wrestling.
down in Alaska. Headbutts.
Yeah,
Wow, okay.
breaks, you know, just your forehead. It's so hard here.
Yeah.
You know, it's a thing.
And she ran off.
Yeah, she dipped out, but it was just it was
Did
funny
you get street cred in that bar after that?
Shoot, I always got street cred. No, but it was just so funny. We're throwing cupcakes, like one of the things I love most in the world. And I got to throw them at her. It was just, it was good. It was
if Misha finds out, she'll be pissed.
I know.
You don't waste the cupcake.
You don't waste that. I know. I know.
All right. Sounds like she had one more, but we got to take a break, so we're going to come back to close up shop. Maybe we'll squeeze one more story out of Gina if she wants to share it. This is Gina Mazany from the UFC Bantamweight, and this is Gustavo Lopez, who fights in the Bantamweight division as well. And he fights, as last couple fights have been for Combate Americas, hopefully maybe back there, maybe Dana White Contender Series, maybe the PFL. He has options. The kid has options.
There.
We'll be right back, folks.
Baby, we're done. You're just no good.
just random.
Hey, idiot!
I have enough.
Yeah, you. Can you please tap that rather large fellow on the shoulder?
She was telling me
and
that
tell
when
him
she was
it's
painting me,
time
she's
for
like,
more MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes? Thank you.
She's the tatted one.
August is Fantasy Football Draft Month, and we want to spotlight your fantasy football league on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. Be a part of our daily league spotlight by telling us what makes your league special. We'll shout out your league across the nation and bring one of your participants on the air as a special guest. The SiriusXM Fantasy Football League Spotlight. Tweet at SiriusXM Fantasy or email fantasysports@SiriusXM.com. Do it now. Once again, tweet at SiriusXM Fantasy or email fantasysports@SiriusXM.com. Our producer Danny is about to find out right now that we're going to do about a 5-minute overtime so we can get one more street fight story out of Gina Mazany.
Wow.
So we're going to do a soft exit now, but I do want to thank all of our guests for the week. And remember, MMA Junkie's got you covered all weekend long for UFC Fight Night 114 in Mexico City. Headlined by Sergio Pettis versus Brandon Moreno. It is a Fox Sports 1 offering. 8 p.m. Eastern start time gets you 10 fights in a row, all on the same channel. The UFC Fight Pass will cover the rest. Thank you to all our guests for the week. Paul Felder, Angela Hill, Colby Covington, Ricardo Lamas, Chase Coburn, Eve Edwards, Ray Longo, Aljamain Sterling, Dave LaGreca, Gustavo Lopez, and Gina Mazany. We're going to do a soft exit. We'll be back in about 20 seconds, and we'll get one more street fight story out of Gina Mazany. I know she's got a good one. It's in the bank. It's ready to come out. Stay close.
On the train, fever Las Vegas turning day into nighttime, turning night into daytime. If you see it once, you'll never be the same again. I'm gonna keep on the run. I'm gonna have me some fun. It cost me my very last dime. If I wind up broke, well, I'll always
Guys,
remember.
clear for overtime.
All right, so we just did an overtime. We could be starting our weekend. But we had a feeling you had a good one left to share.
So I have like another, a kind of funny one.
And Gustavo, we may get one more to you. Even if you weren't in it, I know all them days of security, you had to have seen something. So think about one yourself.
So when I was working at this bar in Seattle, little live music venue, like little grungy bar. It was
everyone's peaceful in Seattle. All these fights
we are
breaking out.
Yeah, no, it's not bad.
Okay.
But there was a battle outside.
A rap battle?
A rap. I wish that'd be way easier to deal with. No, there was like a fight going on outside, and mind you, I was working. It was Halloween. I went out to like break it up and stuff, and then like I kind of ended up getting in the scuffle because it was a girl.
This wasn't Juliana Pena and
no.
Sam.
I did hear about
Cecilia,
that though.
What's his name? Sam what?
Yeah, it was at a club.
Cecilia and Mike. Yeah, so they had something going on. But all right, I was just joking. What happened?
But then, anyways, I ended up getting in a scuffle with this girl, and well, cause she was on this one girl, and I got on top of her and put my hooks in and like sunk in a choke, and I was like, I don't want to like make her pass out.
Palm or the traditional choke?
Or traditional.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, you know, and I like got it in, and I pulled her off of her, and then she got all like upset with me, and this whole time I was doing this, I was like in a head-to-toe dinosaur suit. Fact.
What kind?
Well, it was like a blue one with a pink belly and like spikes. Like my friend's mom made it. Like it was like a full fleece. Like it wasn't like a hot. Like
what dinosaur were you?
I was a T-Rex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they have little arms. How'd you do the hook or how'd you do the choke?
Well, it was me as a dinosaur, and you know, so.
What costumes did they have? Halloween fights are the best. Because
I think she was I think she was like a schoolgirl, like something skanky, like I don't know. That's why, you know, and that's why I don't wear anything like skivvy on Halloween, because you never know what's gonna happen. So that's why I wear my dinosaur suit. I still have it.
Nice.
I wear it often.
That was a good one. All right.
So
yeah.
Somebody outside the club told another guy, "Yo, did you see that T-Rex choke out that schoolgirl?"
Yeah.
And it actually made sense.
It's real life. Yeah. It's real life.
How about you? What's another one you may have witnessed?
One of the other ones, it's we had recently had some guy just trip over some stuff. They were arguing right by the pool, and one guy just slips. Before they start, like, they're going to start pushing, one guy slips and gets cut. Mean cut.
Wow.
Luckily, it ended there. Because they guys were like going to start some
Were
stuff.
they in swim trunks or are they dressed up?
Everyone's in the if they're encore there at swim trunks.
Wow.
Girls are in bikinis. You get the guys that want to come European. I'm like, bro, you cannot come European here. Sorry, we're not at that kind of club. They always get mad for that. Like, what do you mean? It's what I wear. I'm like, not here.
You actually make them change? Oh, really?
It's a dress code coming in. Like, they come with regular shirts and they just take them off. I'm like,
There's not an amount of money you can put in your jacket?
No.
No?
Because then I'll get caught. And then
Everyone has a
then I'll get
price.
fired.
I think so.
Thank you.
Hey, I want to thank you both for coming and doing the show, especially here in studio. Folks, you can follow our first guest earlier today, the host of Busted Open, Dave LaGreca, and it's David LaGreca1. You can follow Gustavo Lopez on Twitter at Gustavo11Lopez. What's the 11 for?
Just the lucky number I had.
Okay. Gina can be followed at Gina Danger, a.k.a. I imagine Alaska.
Yeah.
Anchorage, right?
Or guns. No, I'm just kidding. It's just Alaska.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see your gun.
Ooh.
Very cool. Is there anything that you guys want to leave the audience with? Social media plugs, shout out to your fans, anything you want to share?
Just want to, the social media, if anyone want to follow me, it's Gustavo11Lopez across the board.
Okay.
Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat.
If that had been taken, would you have been Gustavo 12 Lopez, or what was the backup?
I don't know.
I'd say Gustavo Lopez won.
How about the real Gustavo 11 Lopez?
I want just Gustavo Lopez, but some random guy has it. He doesn't even use it. He just
his name's like Brian Johnson.
Yeah, he just takes it. I want to get a hold of him.
What's better, the real Gustavo 11 Lopez or Gustavo 11 Lopez for real?
No, the real.
The real?
The real is street
real.
cred. I mean, somebody.
But Rampage is for real, and he's
I'm gonna see if I can switch it.
All
Yeah,
right.
just thank Misha for connecting us together and for all the great work she's gonna do with us.
There you go. How about
Absolutely.
You, Gina?
Thanks for having me. You guys are just two peas in a pod. Follow me on Twitter,
that's it. Yep.
Instagram, whatever. Gina Danger, AK. I hope I can put on good fights for you guys to enjoy and talk about, and more dinosaur talk.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Despacito.
All right, we are out of here. Remember to keep it locked on MMA Junkie throughout the weekend. We got our writer, John Morgan, down in Mexico City covering the event with a full staff of support here. And they'll have lots of pieces up regarding this fight card that we have going on with the main event of Brandon Moreno and Sergio Pettis. Pivotal fight at 125 pounds. The winner could get a shot at the winner of Ray Borg and Demetrius Johnson. We are out of here for the weekend. Danny back east. Great job. Goes. You did pretty good as well. I was fantastic. I took it to another level. And thank you both for stopping by.
Amazing.
You guys killed it.
Go out there and be champions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Never am I the only words I wanna hear. Baby, take it slow so we can last long.